Nope, nothing worthwhile on these shelves. Well, I see they like to keep things hot in the bedroom. Classic. These baseball cards are great collectibles. Must have gotten these from the Big and Tall Curtain store. I think that's upside down. That's a terrible place for a petri dish. You can really judge a person by the kind of groceries they buy. Well, that might come in handy. Magnets. How do they work? Really? They found someone to eat this crap? Never, ever stick your hand in a toaster. Boy, I try not to look directly into a mirror because it's kind of bad for my self-esteem. Yeah, I believe that's a towel. Yeah, rub-a-dub-dub. Tsunami! Tsunami! Another Mike and Ike Hammer candy comic. Gumdrops and lollipops. I'll put this in. Well, one man's trash is a PI's clue. Surely, after all we've been through, you would not turn against me and turn to her. Looks like someone with the initial T was doubting Mason's allegiance. This petri dish is encrusted with all sorts of gunk. I'll need to clean it off to see what's underneath here. Ah, a remembrance of a much simpler time. Lord knows I could use a plunger at my place. No bidet? Sick. Tsunami! Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, if you know what I mean. This frame needs 9 baseball cards. Guess I better not be too creative, because it won't work. Yeah, that's about the only sailboat I could afford. No, that's not important. Wrong form of its. Come on, people. Oh, sure, that seems impressive. But I bet you it wasn't nearly as difficult as obtaining my PI license from an entire summer of night school. There's a past due notice here.
You're late, you bum!
Note to self, check and make sure I made my speeder payment. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, if you know what I mean. Now I could use that. That's interesting. This coffee table's a special design. It's got a hidden drawer. Well, one man's trash is a PI's clue. Hello. This coffee table's a special design. It's got a hidden drawer. Seems Mason was treating someone with serious facial deterioration. Hello. The 8 lost rules of etiquette. Rule number 1, a friendly greeting could open doors for you. Hoping to find more information about why sleazy PI Carlos Maldonado has been keeping an eye on my place leads me to a swanky beach house where I'm delighted and surprised to meet an incredibly beautiful woman inside a home medical office. Unfortunately for me, the feeling is not mutual, and she's accompanied by a very lethal friend.
Freeze. What are you doing here?
Well, we had such a charming conversation on the vidphone, I knew I had to meet you. Now I'm rethinking that.
You don't remember me, do you?
Well, I wish I did. Does that count?
We met just once, years ago. So did you really come here looking for me? Or are you here for Mason?
I'm sorry. The correct answer is C, all of the above. I came here to find you, but it's Mason I'm looking for.
Well, you'll have to make do with me. Mason isn't here.
So how do you know Mason?
In the biblical sense, I'm his wife, Ariel Bowers.
When was the last time you saw him?
Over a month ago.
No kidding. A wife like you, I'm surprised he ever leaves the house.
We've been legally separated for over a month. He has issues, erratic behavior, periods of deep depression. It got to be too much.
Psychological problems, huh? What are we talking here? He ties a shoe for an hour, or he walks into Burger Barn with dynamite in his pants?
I think it was just a reaction to stress. His work kept him away for weeks at a time.
So I heard your husband was a neurologist, like a brain surgeon or something.
Or something, yes. He worked in neurochemistry, how chemicals influence neural operations.
So who's he working for now?
Mason never talked about his work, even before we separated. But we stayed in touch. This was the longest he ever went without calling me. I got worried and came here. I found Maldonado's number and called to see if he knew anything.
Yeah, well, Maldonado's not going to be able to help us much because he's dead. Is that who you were coming to see on Chandler Avenue?
Yes, that's right. What happened to him?
Well, I'm not sure, but I'm trying to find out. But the trail seems to lead through your husband, who, by the way, I believe has been abducted.
Abducted? Now I'm worried sick. What are we going to do?
Well, to start with, if you could think of anything that could help me out here to find him, that would be a big help.
I will. Feel free to look around here. I wish I could stay and help, but I'll give you my number so you can call me later. And sorry about the gun to the head thing.
Oh, it's okay. I've just got one of those faces. Probably look better with a hole in it. I have my doubts about Ariel Bauer's motivation. She certainly seems to have an agenda which includes more than just her husband's well-being. What's she up to?
Hubba, hubba. Whew. Is it hot in here or did my internal fan just crash?
Well, it feels like I'm being played for a sap.
Oh, come on. She's just getting ready to play the field. I'd like to bring her over for a debugging session.
Okay, enough. Looking at medical posters always gives me the heebie-jeebies.
You have a fax.
Looks like Carlos Maldonado was trying to get a hold of Mason about someone named Margaret Leonard. My business card? How did Mason Bowers get this? Man, that is so cool. Nothing I can use. You'd need a PhD to understand any of these books. Well, I wonder what's on this little device. If I found a flash drive, I could connect it to the video screen.
Long-lasting memories are created through a process of consolidation, which is based on the formations of protein in the brain. Thus, memories, particularly painful ones, are formed by these unstable proteins, making them easily identifiable and removed with a combination of drugs and behavior therapy, ensuring memory elimination. Of course, there are those who do not believe that the benefits of memory modification outweigh the risks. They warn that eliminating memories, one could significantly alter a person's personality, their history.
So, a fancy device that wipes your memories. Useful technology. I see applications for anyone who ever went out with you or read the Twilight series.
Come on. Little mercy here for the victim, all right? Why would Bowers want to erase my memory? Unfortunately, it's not the tunnel of love. Maldonado was tracking down a woman named Margaret Leonard for Bowers. Yoink. I got a feeling that's not a crochet needle. Just looking at this gives me an icky feeling. You'd need a PhD to understand any of these books. I'm sure these MRI pictures are showing me something. Unfortunately, it's not the tunnel of love. just some books. Oh, sure, that seems impressive. But I bet you it wasn't nearly as difficult as obtaining my... Oh, sure, that seems impressive. But I bet you it wasn't nearly as difficult as obtaining my PI license from an entire summer of night school. Oh, I don't think a lot of studying went on in here with that flat-screen TV on the wall. Well, that was stupid. Now that was a terrible year for wine. Hey, bada bada bada. If the owner's ventriloquist dummy's in here, I'm going to be very upset. He's looking a little under the weather.